Hey everyone, welcome back to Python for Beginner series, and this is going to be our exercise number 16. And here is our question, that is, create a Python program that checks a given URL to see if it is a phishing URL or a legitimate URL. The program should prompt the user to enter a URL and then compare it to the predefined list of known phishing URLs. If the entered URL is present in the list of known phishing URLs, a warning message is displayed. Otherwise, the program tells the user that the URL is legitimate. So basically, this is going to be our phishing URL detector program. So let's dive in. So I have already created this file, that is phishing URL detector.py, and let's start writing our list of known phishing URLs. So we'll use this phishing URLs variable. Okay, and we'll create a list. So in the list, I'm writing the domain name, that is reevil.ru. ru is a top level domain of Russia, comma, conti.ru, nso.il. il is a top level domain of Israel. doubledragon.cn. cn is a top level domain of China, comma. Okay, we'll use ryuk as well, ryuk.ru. Okay, so these are the domain names we have, and mostly they are from the Russia, that is .ru. Okay, and .il means it's a top level domain of Israel. .cn is a top level domain of China. So let's also write spam.com. Okay, so these are the imaginary phishing URLs I have created. Okay, so let's prompt the user to enter the URL, and we'll use the URL as a variable and input to ask the URL, enter the URL. Now we have to use domain equal to URL dot split. So we are going to use the split method to split the URL at this backslash, and we want the position, that is -1. We want the position 1, and again we have to split the URL at the backslash, and the position will be 0. Okay, so we are using this split. Let me write it here, okay, for your understanding. So we are using this double slash. This particular piece of code will extract the domain name from the URL at this point, that is HTTPS or HTTP. So this split method cut the URL at this line, okay, at this slash, and will give us a list of 2 elements, with the first element being the protocol, that is the HTTPS and HTTP, and the second element being the domain name and the path. To access only the domain name, okay, to access only the domain name, that is, let's say ryuk.ru. So we want to access this domain name, right? So for that matter, we are using this -1, which refers to the last element in the list. Okay, and after that we are splitting this single slash, right? Let me write it here as well. So what we are doing here, so let's say if we have google.com search, okay, and let me write the HTTPS as well. Okay, let's say we have this URL, so it will cut the URL, like we want the domain name, right? Because obviously we have provided the domain name here. So this particular method, that is split this backslash, the single slash will cut, this particular split method will cut at this point. Okay, at this point will cut the URL, and the first element will be our domain name, okay, and give a list of 1 or more element, with the first element being the domain, and that is our requirement, like we want to access the domain name from the URL. So I hope the split method is clear now. We are simply splitting the URL. So let me just remove it. and let's write here the extract the domain from the URL. So we are simply extracting the domain name from the URL with the help of split method. Check the conditions. If domain is present in this phishing URLs, print, be aware this URL is a known phishing URL, else print this URL does not appear to be a phishing URL. Okay, so let me quickly go through the program. What we are doing, first we are creating the list of known phishing URLs, reevil.ru, conti.ru, nso.il. These are the domain name I have used. These are the hacking groups basically. And after that we are prompting the user to enter the URL. And in this line we are extracting the domain name from the URL with the help of the .split method. And here we are checking that if domain name is present in the phishing URLs, okay, the domain name is present, then print be aware this URL is known phishing URL, and else print this URL does not appear to be a phishing URL. So let me save the file and run the code. Okay, let's write https nso.il search. Be aware this URL is known phishing URL. Okay, let's run the code again. That is revel.ru spam. Be aware this URL is known phishing URL, and run the code again. Okay, so at this time we are using this https google.com. So this URL does not appear to be a phishing URL. So this is how you can use this program to check phishing URL, conti.ru. Okay, be aware this is the phishing URL. So our program is working. So this is a very basic and simple script. We are not using any validation here, and in future we'll update this, we'll add more features to it, and we also use the validation as well, because if you are dealing with URLs, so validations are important. We'll update this script in the future, but for now, as a beginner, I think it is sufficient for beginners to understand the if-else statement, to understand list, and how to use the split method correctly. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you like it. Please let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section, and make sure that you guys are subscribing to my YouTube channel. We'll see you in my next video. Till then, take care and keep learning. Bye bye.